So right now the effect is on, and also we've got color correction and everything like that, but obviously right now the color correction isn't what we're worried about. So if we shut off, if we just get rid of all of the layers, and we'll just start from the beginning. Alright, so the first thing obviously is to find the reaction of the actors and work off there. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect because we can always just adjust it later on in the future, but no, we'll just go there. So guess what we're looking for right now? What we're going to be doing is the actual dirt charge at first. I'm using the Video Copilot Action Essentials 2-pack. I obviously don't always use this for my effects, but in this sake it was fairly good stuff. I advise you to check it out, especially if you're just starting out as well. They've got some really good special effects on there, and some good tutorials as well. So I've got some dirt charges from that pack, as well as like the dust wave and everything, but we'll just be doing the dirt charges just this second, and we'll get to that stuff later. So I've got this dirt charge here. Obviously it's fairly different colours what we want, but we'll just do that soon. So we'll just drag that on there. Obviously this will actually be a lot quicker, but anyway, so this is what we have right now. I guess the most frustrating part is how there's the sharp edges here for the actual box, but like an easy fix to do that is just get the pen tool, or you can get the rectangle tool or the ellipse tool. But if you just use the pen tool, and you create a mask around the edges here, it doesn't obviously have to be perfect. Technically there isn't really anything perfect about it, but if we just go around it. Whoops, I completely lost it there. But if we go just around it, that's okay. So we need to make this inverted. Inverted down here. We want to feather it up a bit, just so it doesn't still look sharp, and it just makes it blend in a lot better. So you can already see that the sharp, or where it used to be sharp, it's nice and it just blends in a lot better. Well, obviously we want to do this for the bottom as well, but what we'll do is we'll actually just wait until we adjust the size for that. So in this explosion, it goes off around here. It's a bit bigger than that, so just scale it up a bit, but nothing too over the top. So right now, we've got the bottom here, and the thing is, it just pops in randomly, which just obviously destroys the effect. So we did the same process again with the pen tool. So it doesn't really matter how you do it. So what happens is that because they're both on add, only one of the effects or masks works. So we have to put one of them on subtract, and then feather it. from there. So as you can see already, it looks a lot better than before. I'm not doing this, it just sells the effect. Alright, so right now it looks pretty good. So obviously right now we need to blend it in a bit better. You can see that it's not the right color, the actual dirt here. And what I kind of like to do is I like to make duplicates and then change the color of each of them, and it just gives it that good look to it. So I just go into color correction in the effects and presets browser, and go into tint. So obviously this will just resort it back to black and white, so that way we can obviously the effect. So I wanted to match the ground here, but we can also make it a bit better. So for the bottom one we can always just make it the exact color of the floor here, and it doesn't look right, which is why I decided to actually duplicate it. So if we duplicate it and then we change this to you can change it to like a bit more for like a brown color. But then, even if you don't have these colors in the environment, you can just go into here and sort it out yourself. So, already that looks pretty good. But you kind of want to make it a bit darker. So if you make like another duplicate and then make the blacks, actual black, it already, looks good. Because then obviously with other color correction and stuff, you can make it blend in a bit better. So if we actually make it not a duplicate, actually we'll make that one green, because obviously there's like green bits here. Yeah, you can already see that it looks good. So right now the actual explosion looks good. Obviously it's rendering now, but if you actually look at it like this, frame by frame, I'll just put it onto half. Down here you can see that the bottom here, obviously with some more tweaking and stuff you can obviously refine that. But this is just a quick tutorial. So right now that already looks good. So you won't really want to do anything more than that to make it look any better. But right now it's kind of just the whole environment. So before we actually get to the dust, which is already in the explosion before, which I showed you. So with the explosion, which I showed you earlier, which is here, you can see the dust here. But before I actually show the dust part here, which is all pretty straightforward, I'll show you the actual the mark which gets left behind. It's probably it's fairly easy to do, but it's just because if you leave it without anything, it just looks really bland. It just looks like it had no effect as well, and that it is a VFX and it's not actually a part of the film, which is what we're trying to do. So obviously it's just fairly basic masking, and obviously just changing the color, and obviously it's fairly easy to do. You just duplicate the bottom layer. Let me just shut off these effects here. So what I did, I went into curves, which is in the color correction, and I basically lowered this heaps. It looks really bad now, I guess, but if you mask it out in that section where the explosion goes off and adjust this later on. So if you're going to transform here, and sorry, not transform, masks, now we can add in the feather, probably a bit more, probably add more expansion to it. And if we turn on these effects, obviously you want to make it so it comes in. Let's get out of this. So you want it to appear halfway through. But obviously it kind of looks bad if it just pops in. So around here is when we want it to start to appear. So we'll just do basic keyframes with the opacity. So it's the stopwatch down here. So we'll just have it at 0% now, and as it gets to its peak, we'll have it at 100%. Oops. Okay. So let's just quickly watch that and just see how it turned out. I mean, obviously, whatever looked good, especially with the angle and stuff. Alright, yeah. Obviously you want to change the mask a bit, but then again, obviously this is just a tutorial. So I'll just make this a bit closer in and stuff. Same here. You can also make it a bit quicker as well. But it's just kind of what you think looks right, especially with the angle of the camera as well. But you can see already, I mean, obviously we need to make some changes to the masking of the dirt charges at the bottom here, which you can just do with some more feathering. But no, it looks now a lot better now, especially seeing as it leaves something behind. But if I was just to change the mask, I mean, I'll just show you, for example, how we can change it so it looks better. Obviously you want to make this a bit more further away than what it was. I'll just quickly do it. I mean, I'll probably just skip past this and show the end result. Alright, what you can also do is you can also have it so around here it fades off, because then that way it just looks a bit better as well. And you can also just cheat the bottom here if it doesn't come out the way you want it to. So you're just going to transform opacity. So around here, I would say, because at this stage here, the explosion's already worn off. There's still some particles, coming down, but that's obviously nothing to worry about, because it is just fading off. So we have it at 0% here, and then around, oh sorry, 100% there, my mistake. And then here, I'd say we'll have it down to 0%. Obviously, we probably want to make it slower than that. But then again, though, you do make your changes to what it is. I mean, obviously that's not what I'm trying to do, is show you how to change it. So we have that part there. Now that's you know, already, you know, looking good. Obviously you just need to have some more oomph to it. And so with this here, with the previous video, let me just find it. With the previous video, or the original, I mean, well, the final video, you can see the, you know, the dust coming up here, and it kind of just, you know, engages the audience a lot more. Yeah. So what we can do is I've got the dust wave from Action Essentials as well, which is in Action Essentials here, which is dust wave 2. So we have this here. Obviously, we want to make some like color changes to that as well. Obviously, you know, make some adjustments to the positioning and everything. So we just drag that on. So obviously, we want it to take effect when the explosion really, you know, takes off. And also, this can act as like a shockwave effect too. So we want to scale this up a bit, so the edges look good. So yeah, what we can do is we can just position it over here, and because, you know, we scaled it up, we can scale up again, so it looks like it's coming from the actual explosion itself. So if we just render through this quickly, so obviously what we also want to do is to tint that as well with color, like what we do with the dirt charges, to make it blend in a lot better. So yeah, so that looks good, but obviously now we need to change the color of that, so we can just get out of it. And so then what we need to do is just need to tint it, spinny wheel of death, as they call it. Okay, so what we need to do is now to tint it. So I showed you what we did for the dirt charge. It's basically the same process before, but for this here, we kind of wanted to make it, you know, a bit, you know, browner. Let's just make it a bit of a lighter brown and make this maybe darker. No, it's too dark. We'll probably just get the brown here and then darken this a bit. So yeah, now it looks, you know, blends in with the explosion as well. So I mean, right now we've got the you know, the dust, and we've got the explosion, and that's basically all you need for that effect. Well, you can also add in, you know, camera camera shake as well. But you know, you can get that from certain, you know, plugins and stuff as well, but obviously it's not needed. You can also do that in external things too, but obviously for this tutorial that isn't actually what we need. So yeah, that's basically, you know, the tutorial for the actual explosion itself. Obviously you want to do color correction as well, which is what you see in the actual M video, which I also quit out of again, which is here. You can see the color correction, which obviously makes it blend in a lot better as well. So if we, you know, I'll just quickly do it. It's also in my other tutorial, which will be in the annotation up here, but which I go fairly in depth with. So basically, I'll just quickly do it for you. Layer, adjustment layer, color correction. You know, we want to go into curves. You know, increase the blacks, not too much because that'll just be crazy. You know, hue saturation. You know, decrease that to around mid-40s. No, don't make the darkness too low. Obviously this looks a bit different from the other video. I mean, this probably actually looks better, but you know, obviously you need to make some changes to with what I said, but with like having, you know, a bit darker and stuff, those type of details won't, you know, pick up that much, especially with the dust here. So obviously you can see right now, it already looks really good. So if I just render this out, which I'll skip past. Alright, so I just rendered through it, and we'll just quickly play through. Obviously it's still rendering, but as you can see, it's on half quality now, so on full probably look better, but obviously I've rendered it now, so I don't want to have to render through it again. No, it looks good. You know, it interacts with, you know, dust. It leaves a mark behind as well. Obviously you want to make some, you know, changes to this, so you know, you can also make this a bit smaller so it looks a bit more you know, natural. But you know, right now, you know, it looks good. And if you compare it to the original video, which I quit out again, which remind me never to do that. So if you look at the original video or the final video, obviously this one here is a bit darker. So if we go, you know, back here, yeah, so that's, you know, it looks fairly similar. This one here's a bit darker, but then again, that all matters with your actual, you know, color correction and stuff.